Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to our guests. It is day 2 for me as well, and like my distinguished colleague, Ms. Ansari, I echo her sentiments, but also I'd like to add that I think it's essential to this body's work that we restore decorum to be able to do this work. I am encouraged when I see our chair and ranking member disagree without being disagreeable. I think this type of decorum and approach is certainly something that should be utilized throughout this body consistently. The Social Security Administration plays a crucial role in providing benefits to millions of Americans, yet it's operating on a budget that simply is not enough to meet this important mission. My Republican colleagues are using Telework as a scapegoat for their consistent underinvestment, but it won't change the fact that the real culprit is their refusal to give SSA the resources it needs. And it's critically important that we not lose sight of the human costs of that refusal. The Social Security Administration estimates that 30,000 people lost their lives in the fiscal year 2023 while waiting for decisions on their disability claims. We have to address these backlogs by investing properly in the agency. As of December 2024, my home, St. Louis, is home to over 3,000 federal employees, and I truly believe they are the backbone of our community. If further cuts are made, we run the risk of closing essential SSA field offices, which would only add to the challenges our residents face. Governor O'Malley, about how many field offices does SSA have and where are they located?
There are 1,211 field offices all across America, and on any given day, there's always a risk that one of them might suddenly implode if too many employees with certain expertise in Title II or Title I suddenly decide to take other jobs. In fact, that happened to us in Southeast Cleveland not so long ago. We just couldn't keep the office open because of the staffing cuts.
And Governor O'Malley, why is it essential to SSA to have field offices?
It's essential because there's some things that people can only do in person. We talked a little earlier about fraud. Sometimes people have to come into the office to prove who they are because their bank accounts have been hit or hacked. Some people just need that in-person service in order to apply, especially for some complex programs like disability. So we strive to get everybody in within 28 days if they're making a disability application, because we've learned that the sooner you get people in, the more that speeds up the process once it starts going through the process and going to all of the state disability determinations offices.
Okay. Governor O'Malley, why has SSA faced the need or potential need to close field offices?
Congressman, it's staffing. It's all staffing. I mean, if you look at that chart, you will see that because of the baby boomers, the number of beneficiaries has been climbing, and is going to continue to go up. But that red line represents the staffing, which ever since Congress started so-called level funding the agency's lost $600 million in staff anytime that it's been level funded. So what used to be a very efficient provision of customer service when we were funded at 1.2% of benefits has now, I mean, nobody's happy with where it is right now. We've gotten a lot better on many things, but I don't think any of us should be happy. We are funded now on less than 1%. And you can see it's the reduction of staffing to a 50-year low, while the number of beneficiaries has doubled since what it was back when in around 2000.
And just so we're clear, SSA's field offices create jobs for Americans who live in those communities. Is that correct?
Well, yes, but fewer and fewer of them.
And when SSA is forced to close its field offices, local workers lose their jobs.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
also correct?
Yes, sir.
So my colleagues on the other side of the aisle are suggesting that telework, rather than a lack of sufficient funding, is to blame for the closure or potential closure of SSA field offices. Is that accurate?
No, that is not accurate. The cause of SSA's declining customer service over the last 10 years, it began before the pandemic, but the decline, it's all attributable to reduction in staffing to a 50-year low while beneficiaries continue to climb. It's just, and even though last year we actually improved productivity by more in 1 year than we had since 2013, the folks, the men and women across the country in those field offices, they're not just the people that see people, they also have to process the claims and put them through. And for the last year, they've been trying to sprint up a downward moving escalator because of the growing workload, the declining staff, and what that does to people's morale and their ability to get the job done.
Gentleman's time's expired, so